Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I am bringing you guys my Week 7 TBU team analysis. Myself and the LA Galuxray are taking on Eric, Ashnakai, and the Bristol Bidoofs. And this is a match that is happening. So, basically, if you guys don't know, Eric has probably the most broken draft in the TBU. At first glance, and so I have basically been tasked with trying to come up with a team that can take it on. Last week, I should say my last battle, which was the Week 1 battle against Sizz, was kind of a disaster in the sense that the team I brought was not great. The team I brought for Gassy for the match before that, technically last week, was also kind of lackluster in the fact that I didn't have the right offense to take out the right things that he brought. And so, basically, I need to try and right my wrongs in team building and come up with a team that will be able to get the job done. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to win this match, but I have guaranteed that I have put a lot more effort into building this team than I have the previous teams. This is an excuse for losing. This is just saying that my priorities may have been rearranged to where this was not my main priority, and it is now because I need to get better. I need to stop choking games away. I need to stop bringing the wrong teams. I need to stop building teams without confirming things through calcs. So, I've done a lot more calculating for this team, and I'm a lot more confident that it can do work. Now, we'll go into Eric's team really quick and go into the broken team that I mentioned earlier. It is filled with Conkeldurr, Milotic, Reuniclus, Honchkrow, Excelgor, Tyrantrum, Raikou, Heatran, Tangrowth, and Megalodios. Yeah. So that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how this team is legal in TBU standards. Whoever let this happen, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, but it doesn't matter. There are a couple things that can be taken advantage of on his team. His team is really slow. Outside of Excelgor and Raikou, his team is slow, and Megalodios, his team is slow. Now, he does have Reuniclus and the potential for Trick Room, so that is the thing that we'll have to look out for. If he successfully gets that up, I'm screwed. Also, there are some really big threats on his side, namely Conkeldurr, and probably like an offensive Heatran. Honchkrow could also pose an issue, and Megalodios are some of the things that I am very scared of. Milotic is also going to be a pain to try and take out. So it just depends on what he brings. Now, let's just go ahead and get into the team. He also doesn't have a ground type, which doesn't actually matter. I really thought about bringing Electros to combat this. He did bring Reuniclus off the bench. He did have a ground type. He had Nidoking and actually benched it, which is great. That gives me a Nidoking that I didn't have to prep for, but it did give me a Reuniclus that I had to prep for, which kind of sucks. Either way, let's get into the team and go over one by one what they do. First one, Mega Beedrill, Soifon. U-turn, Drill Run, X-Scissor, Poison Jab. Max Attack, Adamant, 148 speed, and then 100 HP, 4-inch defense. Not that it really needs defenses, but I mean, hey, it has them now. This Mega Beedrill has enough speed to outspeed a max speed Raikou, which is cool. It's a good thing to have. U-turn does a lot of damage. Poison Jab does a lot of damage to things that don't resist it. Drill Run. Eric has a tiny bit of a ground weakness between Heatran, Raikou, and Tyrantrum. All of them being weak to ground. Everything else is neutral. Mega Beedrill is fast and can also help me get momentum. Mega Beedrill also switches into Excelgor. Excelgor gets no sort of coverage moves to hit Mega Beedrill. Unless we're counting Final Gambit, it really can't touch Mega Beedrill. That's right, I did Excelgor calcs. I didn't look it over. Excelgor is not going to be this week's Licky Licky. And I'm not going to let Excelgor do to me what it has done to other people. Frito. So, Mega Beedrill is actually a pretty decent answer to that. Also, I think Poison Jab is a guaranteed OHKO. However, Excelgor does outspeed, assuming that it would, if it has speed investment and things like that. So, because I'm not running max speed Jolly or anything like that. So, next Mon is going to be Hippal the Hippowdon, physically defensive, leftovers, Sandstream, Earthquake, Ice Fang, Stealth Rock, and Psychoff. I have a Tyrantrum switch-in, what? So, yeah, Tyrantrum switch-ins are kind of hard to come by, but I have one, and its name is Hippowdon. Takes like 25% from Head Smash. I think if it's Life Orbit, it's probably closer to like 30 to 40%. Either way, it can't take me out. Earthquake does a ton of damage back, as well as I have leftovers and slack off to kind of help me stay around. Ice Fang is, I basically have Ice Fang because I can also switch on a Honchkrow, and I just want something to hit it back. I could go Rock Slide, but Ice Fang also does some damage to Tangrowth, not like a lot, but it does some damage, as well as Mega Latias. So, you know, if that switches in, thinking Earthquake is the only move I have, Ice Fang is kind of the best coverage moves to hit as many things as possible, even if it's not the most powerful. Plus, maybe I can get a freeze and then we'll hack our way to victory, because, you know, we'll do that. I'm just kidding. I hope that doesn't happen. Stealth Rocks would be good because Eric's only way of getting rid of hazards is Defog Mega Latias. Like, that's it. So, that's really good for us because he doesn't have great hazard removal. He also doesn't have great ways to get up hazards. He has Spikes on Excelgor and Stealth Rocks on Tyrantrum and Heatran. Heatran, if it's defensive with like Stealth Rocks, I'm not super scared of. It could still pose a threat, but I'm not like terrified of it. And then Tyrantrum, I'm just not really terrified at all. So it would have to get up like 3 to 4 Dragon Dances, maybe like 2 to 3 to really pose a threat to Powdon. So, and then either way we have this, the Gramble, Bully G, the Gramble, Choice Band. That's right, Choice Banded, Intimidate. Play Rough, Thunder Punch, Earthquake, Heal Bell, 204 HP, Max Attack Adamant, 44 Speed, and 4 each defense. 44 Speed is to outspeed Tangrowth, so base 50. It can outspeed Tangrowth, it can outspeed Reuniclus and Conkeldurr, so, and that's about all it really can outspeed. If I wanted it to outspeed anything else, I would have to make it Jolly, and the only things it would be able to outspeed are like Tyrantrum, who is probably going to have speed investment, Honchkrow, which has priority, and stuff like that. And yeah, although Sucker Punch doesn't really hurt Grimble, so this could actually work as a Honchkrow switch in as well. I'd have to double check the calc because I don't actually remember if Honchkrow gets any coverage moves for fairies, so I will double check that before the match so I don't freak out during the match. But Hippowdon can also kind of switch into Honchkrow. This can actually switch into Conkeldurr. I can take a Poison Jab and then I outspeed. So like I can take a Poison Jab plus a Mach Punch. A lot of my things kind of resist the Mach Punch. So it's pretty good. Play Rough does just a butt ton of damage, and the only thing that resists the Play Rough is Heatran, and that kind of gets bought by an Earthquake. Thunder Punch is just kind of thrown on there as a coverage move. It does slightly more damage to Milotic than Play Rough does. Don't know if I'll ever actually end up going for it, because if it's physically defensive Milotic, it still does like 39% max or something like that, so it's still less than half. I still get outsped, so it can stall me out. And then Heal Bell is kind of Heal Bell is kind of thrown on there in case I need to heal status. I literally just looked through all the moves and I was just like, there's no fourth coverage move I need, so I'm just going to throw something on there. So I figured I would throw something on there that might do something. So I have Bulk, have Intimidate, can live, and I'm going to get off a bunch of damage. I brought Power this week. I'm going to make sure that nothing walls me. Nothing is going to stall out my team. Next is Maddox and Meloetta. Assault Vest, Power Punch, Knockoff, Drain Punch, Thunder Punch. I kind of forgot that I even had this thing on my team. Yeah, so this is a physical Meloetta, and like not with Relic Song. So the problem with Relic Song is that it then gives me Fighting type, which is scary, because basically what this Meloetta is a switch into Reuniclus. With Max Attack Adamant, Knockoff does like over half. If I can get a Power Up Punch off, Knockoff is guaranteed to hit KO on Reuniclus. And Reuniclus can set up Calm Minds, but it can't really up its physical defense, as far as I know, and I don't really expect it to. Because Meloetta is basically the only thing that can switch into Reuniclus. Yeah, and then again, Drain Punch can also hit things. This can kind of work as a switch into Heatran, so if I can get Power Punches on that, again, his team is slow, so for all of the things that he might bring that don't really have speed, I can outspeed, get up some Power Punches, and it's going to also be a bit of a surprise factor, just because, you don't expect a regular Meloetta like this to be physical, but trust me, I've done calcs, it works, because Eric has decent weakness to a mixture of fighting and dark, and I think it'll be enough. Thunder Punch, I mean, I wouldn't actually go for that on Honchkrow, let's be real, unless I really think he's going to switch that in, blah blah blah, things like that. I just kind of, again, threw a coverage move on there, because I didn't really need much else. And then, for the first time this season, we are going to see Choji the Embor, also Choice Banded. I'm bringing double banned this week. Sucker Punch, Earthquake, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Reckless. Max Attack Adamant, 124 HP and 132 speed. That is enough speed to outspeed... I know this one. Milotic. It outspeeds defensive Milotic. Because, again, I could, I can't outspeed, max speed Heatran, So if I outspeed Milotic, I can outspeed any sort of defensive variant for everything else on his team that is not Raikou or Mega Latias or Excelgor. I can outspeed everything. And then if he runs speed investment on, things like Tyrantrum, on things like Heatran or whatever, then it outspeeds me anyway, and I can't speed creep it. So, Max Attack Adamant Embor, there's literally no switch-ins. Flare Blitz does so much damage. Flare Blitz, I think it has a good chance to Oko Concounter. Wild Charge does 90% to a physically defensive Milotic. Flare Blitz also has a chance to Oko Reuniclus. Wild Charge would obviously take out a Honchkrow, but I probably would not stay in on Honchkrow. Excelgor would be dead, but I wouldn't stay in on that. Tyrantrum can get bopped by an Earthquake. However, it could also take me out and possibly outspeed. Earthquake also hits Raikou and Heatran, and I think Flare Blitz also takes out Raikou. Flare Blitz takes out Tangrowth, and Sucker Punch takes out Mega Latias. Of course, that leads to Sucker Punch Mind Games, but basically, once Embor comes in, there is no switching. So if I bring an Embor on a Tangrowth, if Heatran's dead, I go for a Flare Blitz, and he just doesn't have switch-ins. Or I can go for an Earthquake, and still half the stuff on his team still gets hurt really bad. So, double banded, a mixture of Embor and Gramble is going to just put a lot of offensive pressure. If he just brings an all-speedy team and counteracts the fact that I have slow but really hard-hitting, basically wall breakers, then that I basically lose on team matchup. But, if he brings a lot of the walls, if he does that, then he really has no defense. And I don't know if that's how he plays or if that's really what he wants to do. But either way, we basically have one physical hit switch-in, one special hit switch-in. Grimble kind of works as a physical switch-in, and then we just have offense everywhere. Especially because we have our last mon, Izazel, whatever, the Kieran Black, with the Wise Glasses. Terravolt, Psychic, Earth Power, Ice Beam, and Fusion Bolt. Max special attack, modest, 164 speed, 4 in each defense, 84 HP. This outspeeds... I can do this. I want to say max speed Heatran. Is Heatran faster than Tyrantrum? One of those. Whichever one's faster, it's a max speed version of that. I think it's max speed Heatran. It's what I outsped. Because Mega Latias is already faster, and then everything else is way slower. And I don't expect him to run a max speed Milotic. So, yeah. Seeing as, I don't know, I guess I'm just not really the best with Kieran Black, but I know how to use Kieran, so I'm kind of just using this as a Kieran, as a regular Kieran. Psychic, basically I have coverage to hit his whole team, and I would because I'm not bringing a Scarfer, I want to bluff that this could be Scarfed, but Psychic hits can counter. Fusion Bolt, even with modest, even with minus attack nature, Fusion Bolt is a 2-hit KO on physically defensive Milotic. It does over 50%, which is pretty awesome. Reuniclus does kind of eat up hits, Honchkrow doesn't, and I believe I can eat up a Sucker Punch. Excelgor doesn't want to take hits, Tyrantrum doesn't want to take an Earth Power or an Ice Beam, probably an Earth Power. Raikou doesn't want to take an Earth Power, Heatran doesn't want to take an Earth Power, Tangrowth doesn't want to take an Ice Beam, and Mega Latias doesn't want to take too many Ice Beams. I can definitely take one, but again, if I could bluff the Scarf, that'd be cool. We'll see. It would be mostly for the Mega Latias, or maybe the Raikou, so I need to bluff Scarf, and I just need to punch holes through Eric's team. That's kind of the game plan. I just want to punch as many holes through his team, being pretty offensive, because he has a really offensive team, but he also has some defense, so we'll see. There's definitely, I don't expect to win this, I don't expect to lose this, this is just up in the air, but the goal for this week is to just play well, not choke the game away, and not let anything stall me out. So, if I can do that, then it will still be a personal victory, even if I do lose. So, we'll see how this goes, putting some more work in, can't wait to have this battle. Make sure you stay tuned for the battle, which will be going up tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. So thanks for watching, guys, and until the next time, stay sly.